General Kinetics camshaft. I'm not sure if any of you guys are familiar with the old General Kinetics cams. They were produced out of Olive Branch, Mississippi, south of Memphis, Tennessee, where I grew up. But they were a really popular cam back in the probably 70s, 80s, and probably in the early 90s. And they just kind of, I don't know if they sold out or what, because I get the idea, I get the feeling like they were somehow associated with Harold Berkshire and his cam grinds when he was first introducing ultra-dyne cams, later worked at Comp on their extreme energy cams. Then he worked at Lenati cams and created the Voodoo cam line. But that may be a speculation because I can't validate it 100%. It's just kind of unusual that you'd have two well-known cam companies down there in Olive Branch, because Olive Branch is really, back in those days, was a really small town. So anyway, I've had good luck with the General Kinetics cams. They're real similar. I would say, if I had to compare, they're real similar to like a Isky cam, because they're not exactly the same as like what you'd see on some of the old Comp Cam's Magnum grinds, and they're not quite on the 108 lobe separations like Isky likes to run. They're kind of in between. So I was searching for parts on eBay the other day, and I'd come across this camshaft for sale, and I was like, wow, the brand new cam. I haven't seen those General Kinetics cams in a long time. I thought, I'll throw a bid on this cam, because that's a healthy, it's probably about as big as you'd want to go in a street car, and just almost a track cam, because it's going to be slightly bigger than like Comp Cam's 292H, like their Magnum 292 cam for a small block Chevrolet, because this cam, instead of being on a 110 like a Comp, it's on a 109 lobe separation angle, and it's just a little bit bigger at 50 thousandths than the Comp and the Isky. So I mean, it'd be a very radical, what I would call a racy, radical idle in a small block Chevrolet. But I picked this thing up really cheap, because I believe I only paid, gosh, I think it was, I want to say $50 plus like $11 or $12 shipping or something along those lines. And I thought, well, even if I end up not using it, I can always sell this cam or use it as a customer, you know, put it in a customer's car or whatever, because I know the characteristics of it. And if you remember my video I did not too long ago about that Crane knockoff cam on the, I was going to throw in my Blazer, then ended up changing my mind, because apparently I changed my mind more than I changed my underwear on what I can do based on my budget. Because apparently my budget just keeps changing. But I thought it'd be interesting to see what I actually received, because this came on the doorstep the other day. I hadn't even opened it. So let's find out. This is actually a Comp Cam's Extreme Energy 274 box, not the General Kinetics cam we were looking at. Here's an unboxing. This is kind of cool. I don't want to go too long on these videos, because my phone absolutely will not upload more than 15 minutes. So until I get a real camera, I have to be careful. I guess the seller's name is Sperry Engines out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. That's kind of cool. I didn't Didn't realize they were a business. I thought it was just a seller on eBay. I don't know what all this stuff is. I guess I got paperwork and everything. Look at that. Even got a sale of $62.94. I bought a brand new old stock, because they're not made anymore. General Kinetics camshaft for $50, $12.94 shipping. That's a good deal right there. And my thoughts on this was, this camshaft would have been produced before any and all of those camshaft lifter, remember, or maybe a lot of you don't remember, but there was a big run of camshaft and lifter failures, and everyone was blaming it on they were taking the zinc and all the lubricity out of the engine oils, and then it was partially because the engine oils lost their the lubricity packages out of them. Part of it was because we had a bad run of some crappy steel that they were buying from China. I'm not down in China, I'm just saying they had some bad materials that they had run across, so there was a lot of blame put on the lifter companies, the people that were making the lifters. Of course, the camshaft manufacturers took a hit because they also were blamed as having soft lobes or soft core material for their camshafts. So my rationale is, wow, wouldn't it be cool to have a camshaft from back in the day before all that stupid lobe failure stuff started happening? So that's kind of where I was at. Cam card. Apparently it was originally going to be sent to Scott from Rich somebody. Wow, we got somebody else's birthday present or something. But let's see what we got in here. Hopefully we got what we paid for. But I'm telling you, these cams, I had a little, I think the one I had in my 79 Malibu was a General Kinetics 288. It wasn't a very big lift. I think on that cam it was like is it a 470? I want to say it was a 475 lift, because it was like their version of a comp 280 cam, but I believe it was on a 108 lobe separation, so it really hit hard. Pulled good to about 6,200 RPMs in my 40 over 350. Yeah, we got a brand new cam. That is awesome. Any numbers on the end? I don't see anything on that end of it, because I was trying to remember what the codes were. But the camshaft here, I will open this cam card. Hopefully it's not a bait and switch. I will measure it with my micrometers, because you can measure what they call the heel of the lobe, the round part of the lobe where you don't have any lift. Measure your heel, and then you can measure the heel, or the back side of the lobe, if you guys can see this. But you can measure here on the back side of this lobe before the lift starts, so you can get like a base circle, like the size of the lobe before the lift starts. Then roll it over and measure from the base of the base or heel of the lobe to the very tip. Subtract those two numbers, and that'll tell you how lobe lift. When you subtract your actual height, maximum height of your, I don't know why I keep putting my arm in the stupid video, but whenever you subtract the maximum distance from the heel to the tip of the lobe from what they call the base circle, base size of the lobe, you can get an idea of what your lobe lift is. Once you have your lobe lift number, you just multiply that times your rocker arm ratio, and it'll tell you your camshaft size is lift. Now, I don't know the shade tree way of finding out your duration and all that junk. But this camshaft is supposed to be a 509 lift with a 1.5 rocker. It's supposed to be a 509 lift on both sides, 246 at 50 thousandths. Advertised 300. I didn't cut that. Oh, I didn't. Cool. Advertised 300 on a 109 lobe separation angle. So fingers crossed that I actually got a General Kinetics cam, because I'm going to look at it a little closer here in a minute. I was going to show you this spec card. You know, that's, you know, hopefully I didn't buy a spec card with some, you know, knockoff cam. I'll look at it a little bit closer here in a minute and see if I can locate any identifying numbers on it or verify that it is an new old stock cam. But that is a 509, 246 on both sides, 50 thousandths. Advertised 300, both sides. Really nasty idling cam. Good horsepower. I mean, this is a cam with a decent set of heads you can make some good power with. But for some reason I get sucked into all these deals I find on the internet and I end up buying them. So anyway, that's probably what I'm going to put in that old school small block that's in the Blazer now, mostly to make it more marketable to sell, because I want to pull that out and sell the whole thing. Checking my time here. I want to sell that engine, literally carburetor, oil pan, MSD ignition, everything, serpentine belt setup, everything, all as a package deal, to help facilitate that switch over to the LS engine. So what I really liked was seeing, sorry if I'm touching that camera tripod, what I really liked was the fact that it was made out of Olive Branch, Mississippi, because growing up down there in that area, when you find parts that you're familiar with and you know ran good, and a lot of people you knew ran them. I mean, these were a really hot camshaft manufacturer back in the day. So anyway, I just thought I would make a little unboxing video of this camshaft I purchased to put in the Blazer. And like I said, for $62, I could always just basically double my money on that cam. It's not a wasted investment. But I do have a plan for it. It's going to make my what's almost stock cam 350 that's in there now, because I have literally just one step above an RV cam in there now that doesn't even lope or anything. So it'll make the engine more marketable. It'll raise the horsepower. I bet I gained 40 to 60 horsepower just from the cam swap alone, and make the engine more marketable when I go to sell it to do the LS swap. So anyway, I hope I threw in a little bit of information that might be informative to people on how to measure your cam lobes. Talked about an old school cam grind and making a really nasty idling small block Chevy so it's a little bit more marketable to more people, because you know, everybody likes to hear the cam. Nobody likes to buy engines that just sound stock. Even if they run good, the stock idle is not marketable. So anyway, that's my latest ramblings on what I'm doing to my junk, as long as everything goes good with my health. So thanks for watching. I'll keep making some videos.